Our top story. The never-ending flux in Maharashtra politics has taken a fresh twist. For far long, it was speculated, as we said, that two NCPs cannot coexist together. It seems one of them is now set to merge with the other. It began with a prayer made on New Year's Day, but more significant than most others that would have been made in Maharashtra. On Wednesday, Maharashtra Deputy Chief Minister Ajit Pawar's mother, Asha Pawar, visited the temple town of Pandharpur and, in her own words, prayed for the reunion of her son Ajit and his uncle and a brother-in-law, NCP-SP Chief Sharad Pawar. Now, Asha Pawar isn't the only one wishing for a reunion. But first, because right a month after the Maharashtra election results gave Ajit Pawar an edge over Sharad Pawar, Praful Patel, a senior member of the NCP led by Ajit, has gone ahead and referred to Sharad Pawar as his deity. Listen in.
आम्ही शरद पवार साहेबांना सदैव दैवत मानत आलेलो आहो. आम्ही जरी राजकीय आमच्या काही वेगळा मार्ग स्वीकारला असेल तरीही आम्हाला पवार साहेबांच्याबद्दल सदैव आदर राहिलेला आहे, राहणार आहे. आणि त्यामध्ये जर एकत्र आले किंवा त्यांच्या पवार कुटुंब एक झालं तर आम्हाला अत्यंत आनंदच वाटेल. आणि मी पवार कुटुंबाचा एक सदस्य म्हणूनच स्वतःला समजतो आणि त्यामुळे मलाही या बाबतीत आनंद होईल.
Now, Praful Patel isn't the only one in the party eyeing a reunion with Sharad Pawar, but those in the Sharad camp are not necessarily keen. Let's listen in to Mahesh Tapase.
Honorable Ajit Dada's mother, Srimati Asha Pawar, prayed to Lord Vittal that there should be no family dispute, and Ajit Dada or Praful Patel or Chhagan Bhujbal has not defined the political ideology of the NCP. It is defined by the active participation and the active stand taken by our leader Sharad Chandra Pawar Sahib. Pawar Sahib decided to stay away from the BJP government in 2014. In 2022-23, despite the party cracking up and Ajit Dada taking up some MLAs and joining the government, so Pawar Sahib has stood by his political ideology, and I think the country has appreciated. Ajit Dada should have not divided the NCP. If at all he had any political differences, if at all he wanted to identify himself as a next generation leader, he should have made his own party.
So is this public appeal by Ajit Pawar's camp a genuine call for peace or a strategic political move? Can the ideological and strategic divides between Sharad Pawar and Ajit Pawar truly be bridged? And what would a Pawar family reunion mean for Maharashtra's political landscape, especially with the Mahayuti government in power? I have a lot to discuss with my guests joining me at this point. I have Asif Bhamla, spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Naveen Kumar, spokesperson of the NCP Ajit Pawar faction. In all fairness, we should just call it NCP at this point. Anish Gawande joins us from the NCP Sharad Pawar faction. I have also been joined by Chandrasekhar Jha of the Shiv Sena Uddhav Balasaheb Thackeray faction. And I'm also joined by Dr. Uday Nirgudkar, who will help me in making sense of all of this while the politicians continue with the rhetoric. I'll start with you, Anish Gawande. Usually, my apologies, you're one of the last people I come to, but I hope that's not the reason why you no-showed yesterday. But jokes aside, let's start with you first at this point. We have heard several overtures coming in from the Ajit Pawar faction, from his mother, from his senior-most leaders like Praful Patel and others. What is the official response from the NCP Sharad Pawar camp? Official response, and what is the inside track also of what people such as Sharadji or Supriyatai actually think and feel about possibly getting back on terms with Ajit Pawar?
Firstly, Ritangshu, thank you so much for having me on your show, and to everyone watching, a very happy New Year. And apologies for missing yesterday. As you can imagine, there were a lot of things going on with the developments of the day.
No worries, just
my sincere apologies there. But as for what the official line on the potential for a merger or the future path to be taken by the party is, the line is very simple. There's been a party-wide meeting called on the 8th and 9th of January in Mumbai. That's where the future course of the party will be decided in consultation with every single office bearer of the party from across the state and at the national level. So I think these are not decisions taken lightly or over the course of a television debate, and I'm out of my depth if I were to make a bold claim as to whether there will be any such political direction that forms that way. But the reality is that this is a moment of introspection. And Maharashtra politics, as you know, has the ability to keep everyone interested and guessing as to what the next move will be.
But how does it work, Anish? Tell me. You've spent, I mean, you and all the other party spokesperson of across the party, you, for instance, would have spent the last 6 months fighting 2 elections in which you've come on shows like this, in which you've criticized statements made by the NCP Ajit Pawar camp. Tomorrow, if the two parties merge, how does it work out? How do you then supposedly defend the people you have been criticizing as a party spokesperson? Isn't this a mockery of what happens in politics?
But Ritangshu, this is the tragedy of the spokesperson. I think the reality is that any such decision is incredibly challenging. It comes with a lot of considerations and therefore can't be taken lightly. But that being said, political parties have merged in the past. They have sort of tread different paths in the past. If the last 5 years are anything to go by, I think the NCP Ajit Pawar should answer how they were able to go onto that side and make the same statements there. But this is the reality of politics as it stands today. But I think the decision will be more sort of weighty than that. It's not going to be about whether spokesperson.
There's a very interesting follow-up question to that, and I'll go and since you pointed out, Anish, I'll go across to the NCP Ajit Pawar representative also as to who comes to which side. Does Ajit Pawar come across to your side, or does Sharad Pawar go to their side? Dr. Naveen Kumar of the NCP Ajit Kumar faction. Dr. Kumar, one would have assumed that after the Ajit Pawar faction, I beg your pardon, Dr. Naveen Kumar, one would have assumed that after the assembly election results came out, it was a very emphatic verdict in the favor of Ajit Dada's camp here. You got more, you got the lion's share of MLAs especially compared to Sharad Pawar's camp. A lot of people felt that this was the verdict, that Ajit Dada is the true Pawar heir and this is the true NCP. Why is there now suddenly a need to merge with the party that you were once so keen to get out of?
ये ऐसा है कि पहले तो मेरठ नाव को नए वर्ष की शुभकामनाएं। नए वर्ष पर हम लोग मिल रहे हैं डिबेट में।
आपको भी
एक ऐसा मुद्दा आपने उठा रखा है, हालांकि ये माँ आशा पवार साहब की एक भावना ये उन्होंने व्यक्त की थी कि पवार फैमिली में जो दुराव है, पवार फैमिली जो 2 टुकड़े में बटे हुए है, वो एक साथ आ जाएं। और यहां से बातें आगे निकल गई है, समाचार पत्रों में भी आपके डिबेट का ये विषय बना है। मेरा कहना है कि देखिए, 2 बातों पर भी गौर करना होगा। शरद पवार साहब एक मंजे हुए राजनीतिज्ञ हैं, इसमें 2 मत नहीं है। प्रधानमंत्री ने खुद संसद में स्वीकार किया था कि अगर देश का मिजाज जानना हो तो शरद पवार साहब के बयान को पढ़ा जाए। वो सारी चीजें हैं। अब यहां प्रफुल्ल पटेल साहब और अजीत पवार साहब की बातें निकल कर आ रही है। ये प्रफुल्ल पटेल साहब जो हमारे एक राजनेता हैं, उन्होंने कहा कि अगर रीयूनिटी की बात हो, रीयूनियन की बात हो, अगर पवार फैमिली एक दूसरे से मिल रहे हैं या एकजुट हो जाए, कोई आपत्ति नहीं है, स्वीकार है। और शरद पवार साहब को उन्होंने भगवान तुल्य माना है, यह सही है। वो इतने बड़े नेता हैं, उन्होंने पार्टी को खड़ा किया था और उनके साथ हम लोग अनुशासित होकर पार्टी को चला भी रहे हैं, चलाए भी थे। ये सारी चीजें तो थी कल की बात। अब रीयूनियन की बात उठ रही है तो यह कार्यकर्ताओं का भी एक प्रेशर बन रहा है नेताओं पर। ये ठीक है, माता आशा पवार साहब की एक भावना आई, लेकिन इसके पीछे यह सही है कि दोनों तरफ के कार्यकर्ताओं की यह मंशा है कि ये रीयूनियन हो, लेकिन इस तरह की कोई औपचारिक पहल नहीं हुई है। आप शिष्टाचारवश एक दूसरे से लोग मिलते रहे हैं, यह सत्य है, लेकिन रीयूनियन की बात जहां तक हुए, अभी तक कोई पहल नहीं की गई है, ना कोई औपचारिक बातें हुई है।
देखिए नवीन कुमार जी, इतना हम सब भी जानते हैं, अंग्रेजी में कहावत है, देयर इज नो स्मोक विदाउट फायर। ये बस आशा जी और बस प्रफुल्ल पटेल जी की वाकया नहीं है। मैं और आपकी एनसीपी स्पोक रिप्रेजेंटेटिव्स की बात कर रहा हूँ। नहारी जिरवाल जो एनसीपी के एमएलए बोले कि इट फील्स ऑड टू हैव लेफ्ट शरद पवार साहब बिहाइंड, मेनी फील लाइकवाइज, आई विल अर्ज हिम एंड अजीत दादा टू कम टुगेदर। एक पार्टी स्पोक्स पर्सन है अमोल मिटकरी, जिन्होंने बोला है कि अगर दोनों चाचा भतीजे एफर्ट ले तो दोनों आ सकते हैं। तो ये आवाजें आ रही है ना, आप कह रहे हैं कि अगर आवाजें आ रही है इसके पीछे देयर इज नो पॉलिटिकल बेनिफिट, देयर इज अ इमोशनल बेनिफिट कि हम साथ साथ होना चाहिए, शिष्टाचार, ये वेरी गुड, राजनीति में शिष्टाचार हो तो जरूरत है। ये बताइए कि अगर साथ हम साथ साथ है होना है, पवार से परिवार अगर बनना है, तो क्या शरद जी को महायुति कैंप में आना पड़ेगा या अजीत दादा महाआघाड़ी कैंप जाने के लिए तैयार है?
नहीं नहीं, ये तो बातें बहुत बाद की बात आप कर रहे हैं। अभी तो उसकी ओर पहल ही नहीं की गई है। कोई औपचारिक बातें शुरू हो तब ने बात हो, कौन किधर जाएंगे। लेकिन हाँ, यह सत्य है कि कार्यकर्ताओं के बीच में यह चर्चा परिचर्चा शुरू से ही चल रही है। और खासकर महाराष्ट्र का जो विधानसभा चुनाव का परिणाम आया, उसके बाद कार्यकर्ताओं में तेजी बढ़ी है। एक चीज आपसे कहना चाहेंगे कि देखिए, यह दो टुकड़े में बंटने के बावजूद भी एनसीपी एक बहुत बड़ी पहचान, एक बहुत बड़ी पार्टी के रूप में हो रहा है। क्योंकि पार्टी कम आयु की जरूर है, लेकिन इसका नेतृत्व बहुत भारी लिए हुए, वजन लिए हुए है। कल भी थे शरद पवार, जब नेतृत्व कर रहे थे तब भी वजन था, और आज अजीत दादा पवार साहब के नेतृत्व में भी पार्टी बहुत वजनदार दिख रही है। अब देखिए कि जहां हम लोग 36 विधानसभा क्षेत्र में एक दूसरे के आमने सामने थे, वहां पर 29 सीटों पर अजीत दादा पवार साहब की पार्टी यानी हमारी एनसीपी जीत दर्ज की, और रातों रात एक राजनेता के रूप में हिंदुस्तान देखा अजीत पवार साहब के रूप में। अब ये मिलने की बात जहां तक हो रही है,
वो बात सही है,
औपचारिकता के लिए कोई भी पहल हुई ही नहीं है। बोला जाए,
ठीक है ना, आपकी वो बात सही है कि ऑब्वियसली अजित पवार पार्टी परफॉर्म वेरी वेल इन द इलेक्शंस हियर. Before I go across to my BJP and my Shiv Sena UBT spokesperson also, let me get in Dr. Uday Nirgudkar at this point. Dr. Uday, now common sense dictates that once two parties perform, if there is a contest between two parties, a legacy war, the party which performs poorly after an election faces the test of survival and then will want to latch onto the bigger party. By that logic, it should have been Sharad Pawar's party people who should be making overtures to let's get back with Ajit Pawar at this point. Despite the fact that Ajit Pawar is in a position of strength, he is the deputy chief minister, his party has vastly outperformed Sharad Pawar's party in the assembly elections. In fact, he is seen as someone who's gotten a lot of respect after there was initial tutu-memes going on between the Shinde camp and the BJP at this point. Now, why is there a need for Ajit Pawar? And I'm not buying this argument that this is just emotional talk about, there's obviously some logic behind it. What is Ajit Pawar's need to suddenly look at reconciling with Sharad Pawar?
Both the spokesperson I heard very carefully, nothing new they talk. They talked what was in public domain. 8 और 9 तारीख को एग्जीक्यूटिव काउंसिल की मीटिंग है, ये पब्लिक डोमेन में है। दोनों पार्टी के कार्यकर्ता चाहते हैं कि चाचा भतीजे एक हो, that also in the public domain. But what they should have pointed out, and that would have been an interesting turn in discussion, is if at all they have to come together, the key point is, will Sharad Pawar group accept Ajit Pawar as leader? Will they accept to be a part of NDA? Yeah. Will Supriya accept to be in ally with the party which she was opposing till yesterday? As such, for Sharad Pawar group for next 5 years in Maharashtra, there is nothing much to do. So obviously there will be an internal pressure to change the situation, as these are the people, those who are not used to sit in opposition. They always want to be on the right side of the ruling party. So they can't stay without power. So obviously, the key issue to handle is who is going to lead, under whom, and will it be acceptable to both of them? That's the real issue. And BJP is coolly enjoying all this. You know, it's like that famous dialogue from the Ajit film. ये liquid oxygen है. Liquid तुम्हें जिंदा नहीं रखेगा और oxygen तुम्हें मरने नहीं देगा. That's the way they are really enjoying the situation at this point of time.
Are they? Are they now? Let me go to Asif Bamla, BJP spokesperson. I wish I could see you when Udayji was saying, are you enjoying at this point? Well, yes, aapki party is in power. Asif ji, ye bataiye that from the looks of what we have heard, both Anish and Dr. Naveen Kumar say that there is a lot of respect that exists between the two Pawars. It's very evident. Now, whether it's actually for the cameras or behind the scenes, we don't know. But there is enough respect here. So if tomorrow they decide to get back together, are you sure that you will be able to get Sharad Pawar onto Mahayuti fold and not lose Ajit Pawar instead? And if you are you ready to bring Sharad Pawar into the NDA? I know the Prime Minister has a lot of respect for him, but Is the BJP ready to welcome Sharad Pawar into Mahayuti if necessary?
Well, let me first reply to my friend. Let me firstly wish you all a very happy new year. And let me reply to Mr. Uday Nirgudkarji's statement that the BJP is having a good time and BJP is enjoying. So yeah, that's true that the BJP is certainly enjoying. We are yet enjoying and we are yet excited about the grand victory that we got in Maharashtra. And for that, we don't need to have or to worry about the reconciliation in and within the NCP, because this is purely a subject of and within them own selves, which they have to sit and sort and put their house in order. Now, coming back to whether this is a political benefit or it has been shown via the emotional, lines that let's get together. Now that is again between, as I said, both factions of the NCP to decide and understand. As far as we have been concerned, our demarcations have been very well done in terms of allocations to what has been given and what would be given to NCP. Now, if they add, subtract, is a part and a policy of theirs, which I'm sure they would go in with. But you see, the crux of this whole issue is not alone this emotional bandwidth or the political benefit. The factual aspect is that the UPA partners are also tired. I mean, they feel that they are, they're in a ship which is sinking. They feel that there is no future. अभी ये बात अभी से उन्हें महसूस नहीं कर रहे, लेकिन ये बात चुनाव के पहले भी अलग बात है कि लोकसभा के बाद इनके इरादे बड़े बुलंद हो गए थे और इन्होंने सोचा कि भाई बीजेपी और जो एनडीए उसका हाल बहुत बुरा होगा, लेकिन जो है सत्य जो है और महाराष्ट्र की जनता जो है हमारी पॉलिसीज के साथ खड़ी रही और हमारे साथ उन्होंने दिया. But I don't know whether the internal rumblings will have any impact. Of course, it could have an impact because there have been times when the BJP has been really,
if Sharad Pawar comes as part of the package deal, I'm sorry to use, I don't want to sound derogatory towards Sharad Saab at all, but if Sharad Pawar suddenly becomes part of the NCP, which is your ally, will you be ready to accept into the party fold, into the alliance fold?
See, first of all, it's not us who has to accept or not accept. It is like my friend Uday Nirgudkarji mentioned. It is for them to realize that कौन किसके साथ जा रहा है. Is the entire Sharad Pawar ji,
and you realize the opposite can happen.
And respect for Pawar sir, he's been a senior.
I mean, you realize the opposite can happen, Asif Bamla ji, because it has happened. Ajit Pawar has been deputy chief minister in a government which has been headed by Devendra Fadnavis, and he has then left the government to go back to the NCP. Yeah.
No. Give me 5 seconds. Is the Pawar faction, and right from Mr. Pawar to all the other leaders who are there in the NCP-SP faction, are they ready to work under exhibiting that Ajit Dada is a supreme leader? First, they have to deal with that area, and then it comes to us thinking whether, this is acceptable or no. But, of course, knowing I was hearing Mr. Atole's statement also, that Mr. Sharad Pawar is a very experienced, with a vast experience, and if he joins, leaving the UPA, it would help the NDA. Well, that's for time to decide, but certainly for us, it doesn't make much of a difference because we are on a very good seat. We are on a very comfortable
let's then talk
zone
about
to run the state and to ensure the people of Maharashtra के जो वचन आपको दे उसकी पूर्ति होगी.
Let's then talk to someone to whom it would probably matter. Anish, I will come to you, of course, because a lot of questions have been raised to what will be Sharad Pawar party's tactics. Chandrasekhar Jha, thank you for waiting patiently. Tell me something, Chandrasekhar ji, if the Pawars can talk about getting together, why can't Shiv Sainik talk about getting together? I mean, one would have thought that the first party that will actually emerge, given that the voices and the ideologies of the two parties are so common in terms of allies, are you worried that tomorrow Uddhav Sahib stands to be further isolated if the NCP gets back together and possibly joins Mahayuti? Will you then also look at doing something similar and joining Shinde Sahib?
In politics, we have negative as well as positive. We only talk about positive, but negatives are also there. So the moment when a party becomes much bigger, they think that the smaller parties will join. But eventually that may happen, that may not happen. It is upon the parties inside views which will match with their other counterparts. But eventually it may happen, it may not happen. The subject is right now because Mr. Pawar may be wanting to join, or Mr. Ajit Pawar may be wanting to join Mr. Sharad Pawar's party. But eventually this may happen or this may not happen. That is a question the future will tell. But otherwise, also, if you see the implications of the parties which having smaller seats and having bigger seats joined together, now the seats will be much bigger in that. And eventually the implication of the Mahayuti as well as MVA, both have to be seen, because BJP does not want under any circumstance that those who have been divided should join together, because eventually if you see they will become near about to a majority. 120 to 140 seats will be if they equate together. So BJP does not want this factor to come out. And they initially divided these parties because they were knowing that these regional parties were having certain regional implications in the state and they are going to win big. So this was the theory which BJP hatched and divided the parties.
Okay.
Now it is upon the consecutive parties head to decide and the cadres to decide whether they want to join
Mr.
or
Jha,
not.
can I ask you a very simple,
it is up to
direct
them.
question today? Just answer me a question. Just answer me yes or no, and I'll ask you a follow-up to that. Does the Mahavikas Aghadi exist today as a political formation or not?
See, Mahavikas Aghadi is still there. Because if you see the Lok Sabha results, we are having the majority in that. Eventually, Mahavikas Aghadi in the state assembly elections would not have that much of majority. But in Lok Sabha elections, they have the existence.
But you're fighting a local poll separately.
Yes, in any manner, if you see that the MVA is not dissolved. MVA can only be dissolved if it would have been
if you're saying,
in Lok Sabha as well as.
So you're saying effectively, despite you fighting local elections separately, the MVA is together. Now let me ask you the question. Assuming that the MVA is together and Uddhav Sahib is an important part of the MVA, will your party be okay to Ajit Pawar coming back to the MVA, even if it means breaking the alliance with the Mahayuti, because he has done that before and then left you again in the lurch?
See, I told you that politics is a very bitter game. So you cannot expect that it may not happen. It can happen overnight also. It can happen today also. It can happen 3 months back after also. So you cannot decide at this moment, and politics is a very dangerous game.
I think the only alliance which can be ruled out in Maharashtra is a BJP-Congress alliance. Dr. Uday, you wanted to make a quick point before I go back to Anish.
Yeah, I wanted to make quick observation to the BJP spokesperson. They said we have nothing to do with it. It's the other side matter. That's not. If they are going to ally and allow Sharad Pawar to be their partner, please understand this time you got elected because of the massive support from OBC. Now, if you are going to openly ally with the party which was associated with Zarangi party at one point of time, you will have to pay a huge price in local self-government. Are they willing to pay for that? But the flip side, the good side for them is that... But
haven't they already done that with Ajit Pawar?
Eight MPs they will get. And if that lures Shiv Sena, they will get another 9 MPs. So the dependency on Nitish Kumar and Chandrababu Naidu reduces to that extent. That's the plus side for the BJP at this point of time. But they cannot neglect OBC vote bank, which voted unanimously for BJP this time.
Okay. Dr. Naveen Kumar wanted to come in. Go ahead, Dr. Kumar.
ये कहना ये चाह रहे हैं कि आप अजीत दादा पवार साहब के समर्थक हो सकते हैं, अजीत दादा पवार साहब के विरोध में भी हो सकते हैं। एक मिनट जरा सा अजीत दादा पवार साहब के विरोध में आप हो सकते हैं, अजीत दादा पवार साहब के समर्थक में हो सकते हैं, लेकिन महाराष्ट्र के परिप्रेक्ष्य में अजीत दादा पवार साहब को इग्नोर नहीं किया जा सकता है। उनके बगैर महाराष्ट्र या देश की राजनीति बहुत मुश्किल में पड़ जाएगी। इसलिए अजीत दादा पवार साहब आज के समय में आवश्यकता हो गए हैं राजनीति में, इसलिए हर कोई उनसे मिलना चाहता है,
प्रॉब्लम तो ये
लेना चाहता है, उनके
नवीन
साथ
कुमार जी,
चलना
एग्री।
चाहता है।
प्रॉब्लम है अजीत दादा भी किसी को इग्नोर नहीं करते, कभी बीजेपी के साथ चले जाते हैं, कभी फिर से महाआघाड़ी में चले जाते हैं, फिर बीजेपी के पास चले जाते हैं, फिर से बात कर रहे चाचा जी के पास जाने के लिए, वो भी तो किसी को इग्नोर नहीं करते। आसिफ भावना जी, कम इन, यू वांटेड टू मेक अ पॉइंट।
नहीं, ये कहाँ की बात उठ रही है?
मैं मजाक कर रहा हूं।
हम देश के विकास के साथ चले आए हैं, रफ्तार में देश चल रहा है, हम उनके साथ हैं, महायुति में है, एनडीए में है। लोग को हमारे साथ आना है तो ये कबूल करना होगा कि एनडीए का हिस्सा बने, महायुति का हिस्सा बने।
Okay, I will let Anish respond to that, but Asif ji wanted to make a point before, after that I'll go to Anish. Go ahead, Asif ji, बोलिए।
No, I will reply to what Mr. Uday mentioned to me. And that is purely that what would happen with the OBCs who supported us. So let me also submit that the OBCs have definitely supported us en masse, and we're very grateful about it, but also the Marathas have supported it. Let me tell you that the Jarange Patel impact was only till the Lok Sabha, till when people understood that it was just being used as a plank by the MVA. It has got no reality in it. People, it took time for people to realize. Till then, we had lost a lot of seats in the Lok Sabha. But ठीक है, हमने लोगों ने इस बात को समझा चुनाव के बाद, और मैं ये कहूंगा कि केवल ओबीसी नहीं, हर वर्ग के लोग, महिलाओं ने, युवाओं ने, बुजुर्गों ने, क्योंकि हमारी जो सरकार थी देवेंद्र फडणवीस जी के नेतृत्व में, उन्होंने जो पॉलिसीज लाई, उन्होंने कोई वर्ग ऐसा नहीं था जिसके लिए उन्होंने कुछ ना कुछ नहीं किया या नहीं दिया, और उसके ऊपर इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर विकास महाराष्ट्र ने देखा।
अच्छा।
और इसी के लिए मैं चुनकर आई, ये एक वर्ग या एक समाज के दम पर हम इतनी बड़ी बहुमतों के इतने बड़े आधार पर हम नहीं चुनकर आते थे। और आज हमें इस बात का गर्व है कि देवेंद्र जी ने he took a step behind and he accepted to be the deputy CM and ensured that the state comes first.
Asif ji, that is a debate.
But today,
Asif ji, that is a debate for another time, and we have discussed at that length. The fact still remains that if the BJP does get an undivided NCP in its fold, it is a massive boost to the BJP, not just to the state, but also the central level, as Dr. Uday pointed out, not just in terms of numbers, but I think everyone on the panel today will still will say that Sharad Pawar is nothing close to a spent force politically, and whichever party he joins or whichever alliance he joins, he turns out to be an asset to it. But will he join that? Anish, coming to you finally. The question theme at this point is, I think Dr. Kumar has made it very clear. No, hear my question out, Anish. The terms which Dr. Kumar has made very clear is that if the merger does happen, it will have to be your party which will have to break ranks with whatever is left of the Mahavikas Aghadi and join hands with Ajit Pawar, because logically you can't expect him to give up his deputy chairs and prominence and his seat tally once again and once again tally and once again come back. And logically you also can't expect Ajit Pawar to then take the backseat to Sharad Pawar or take the backseat to Supriya Sule as well. So will your party, which is a lot more in ideological opposition to the BJP compared to, say, Uddhav Thackeray's Shiv Sena, be ready to work with the BJP, be ready to work as second fiddle to Ajit Pawar? Are those considerations ultimately something which perhaps may be deal breaker, no matter how much the blood is stronger than water sentiment may play out?
So Ritangshu, firstly, I think the easy answer to that is that hypotheticals in politics are always a dangerous game and should not be played. I think very simply, the reality is that the ideological differences within the sort of alliance in the Mahayuti exists between the NCP Ajit Pawar and the BJP as well, and they have had to contend with those. So the ideological differences don't exist only on one side. And finally, I think it's really funny that on the 6th of June, everyone was hailing Pawar Sahib as an electoral genius. Everyone discounted him on the 23rd of November. And now you're seeing efforts being made from the other side, as you pointed out, not from our side, to have Pawar Sahib back at the helm of things. So I don't think this is a question about who's playing second fiddle. The person asking for someone back is clearly the one who's going to be accepting their leadership as well. So in all of this, I think it would be a little unwise to say that Pawar Sahib would have to play second fiddle to anybody in any party, and that he would have to compromise on his own ideals in politics, because he's shown he can survive without that in the long run.
I'm going to persist with my question, Anish. Ideology might not be a factor for NCP Ajit Pawar, but will it be a factor for Sharad Pawar? One of the strongest, most loyal allies of the UPA.
Of course it's a factor. Of course it's a factor.
All right. On that note, it's very interesting to see what actually happens here. Maybe status quo continues, but I think all my panelists can agree at this point. Dr. Uday is also laughing at this point that there is no smoke without a fire. I'm repeating myself. Maharashtra continues to entertain, continues to give us fodder for very entertaining debates like this, even after the election results are over. Thank you so much, Asif Bamlaji, Dr. Naveen Kumar, Anish Gawande, and Chandrasekhar Jha for joining me with your party views. Also, thank you, Dr. Uday, for breaking down as always. It's time for a short break on the Mirror Now. On the other side, we focus on something, unfortunately, which is not so hasi mazak. We have just gotten over what happened to Atul Subhash, and we now have to look at what happened with Puneet Khurana as well. Is it a familiar story repeating itself, or are we guilty of oversimplification? We're going to discuss that and have hopefully a very grounded and intelligent debate. Stay tuned to the Urban Debate.